Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. Unfortunately, I have a bit of a cold today, as you might be able to tell by the sound of my voice, so this video is going to be relatively short. Well, you know, by my standards, it's still a 10-minute video. This is, obviously, it's War Thunder. It's an arcade ground strike mission that I played quite recently. I'm in the Dornier 217, this is the Night Fighter version, with 4 20mm cannons in the nose. They're kind of the German version of the Bowfighter. I haven't really played this Dornier much, 2, maybe 3 games previously. I do like them though. Again, you know, they're very much like a German version of the Bowfighter, and despite the fact that I don't have any of the ammunition unlocks for this thing, with 4 20mm cannons and 4 7.7mm machine guns sticking out of the nose, ammo choice is mostly irrelevant, as you can see there. Now, this is a highly unusual ground strike mission. I'm climbing up here. Initially I thought, well, since this is the Night Fighter variant of the Dornier 217, I'll climb to altitude and I'll go hunting bombers. It is a very, very effective bomber hunter. But despite the fact that this is a ground strike arcade map, where are all the bloody bombers? You know, there's nobody up here but fighters looking for other bombers. The bombers are all down there. You know, which makes a pleasant change. But yeah, oh, War Thunder Arcade, you're so silly. Well, anyway, I have picked up an unfriendly escort. There's a Zero who's sticking to my ass like glue. And this is going to be hilarious. My gunners kept, you know, really giving him the good news. And there he is. There he is, yeah. This guy just could not shoot me down. I mean, he managed to stay on my ass, as well he should. I'm in a Dornier 217, he's in a Zero. But his shooting is about as bad as mine. And by the time he does eventually start landing some hits on me, and my gunners are hitting him all the time here, it's as if he's run out of 20mm cannon ammo and all he has to shoot at me is his crappy little machine guns. He's still there, he's not given up. Well, oh there, he's reloaded his machine gun, his cannons rather. But I've barely taken any damage from this. Now, I'm sure you've been in this sort of situation, where you're chasing something that is a huge target and should be an easy kill, and it's just not going down. It's just not going down because you're not hitting it. And so he starts getting angrier and angrier, and eventually he gets angry enough to pull an attempted douchebag move. That's right, here it comes. Yep, he rams me. But wait, plot twist. I'm still flying. So he's written off his aircraft for nothing. Oh, that makes me happy. I do love it when somebody pulls a douchebag move and it fails, because I do eventually get taken out by that Bowfighter. Oh, I love it when people try to be arseholes and fail. So, yeah, sucks to be you, bro. Anyway, let's jump into a fighter. So, I jump into the BF-109 F4, and I'm flying this thing rather than the E3, even though the E3 is fully upgraded. Well, because the F4 is not fully upgraded. So, I can actually, you know, unlock some modules on this thing. And I hadn't noticed at the time, but when I was replaying this video and watching the replay, I don't know if you had noticed in chat, Devil Dog Gamer is flying in this mission with me. He's on my team. I completely hadn't noticed at the time. Devil Dog Gamer is one of the guys, he's a former United States Marine, has his own YouTube gaming channel, and he's one of the first people I did a War Thunder collaboration video with, so it was, wow, can't believe I missed him. So, Devil Dog, if you're watching this video, I wasn't ignoring you, I just didn't realise you were there. Anyway, BF-109 F4, and I spot a bomber at altitude, you know, where they're supposed to be. And I figure, well, if I'm up here anyway, I may as well go after this guy. Wehrmachtlov, in an HE-111. So one of my first shots kills one of his gunners. And unfortunately, Well, I mean, you can't actually stall an aircraft in arcade, but I was approaching stall speed, and he's starting to get away, but that's not a problem. The BF-109 is substantially faster than an HE-111. If you'd been in a JU-88, I would have had problems catching up to him, but I just put this thing into a either level flight or a shallow dive, build up some speed, and I'll catch this guy easily. Here we go. Just about back in shooting range. And I've killed his tail gunner now. So he is now completely at my mercy, and he knows it. And there we go, got him. Now, I'm at this altitude, so it would be a shame to waste it. And there's nobody else up here but me, our bombers, and a lone friendly fighter all the way off over there towards their base. Which puts me in an ideal situation to go hunting other enemy bombers. Except I can't see any. What the hell's going on? Well, that's not strictly true. There are a couple of enemy bombers 4 kilometers below me on their own side of the map. What the hell? There they are, down there, over in the river valley. Great. Great. You know, you try to do things properly, but the game just won't cooperate. And I could dive on those guys, but there's a lot of... They'd probably be dead by the time I got there, so I figure I'll stay up here and I'll escort our bombers. Where you going, guys? Guys? Oh, War Thunder. And then, suddenly, a wild HE-111 appears. It's Wehrmachtwolf again. And the only way I could have been in a better position to take him out was if he'd spawned about 300 meters in front and above me. But I'm certainly not complaining, because this was incredibly easy. And I am actually, even though I didn't realise it at the time, but I'm effectively spawn camping now. And I'm actually at a higher starting altitude than their bombers. So this could, and I've taken out one of his gunners again, this really couldn't have been much easier. And he's completely doomed now. He's been flying 30 seconds and he's already shot down. And it occurred to me while I was flying this game, and there he goes, he's officially dead now. It occurred to me while I was flying this match that the domination, if you like, of bombers on ground strike arcade maps only really applies on the bigger maps. Because they've got all the time in the world to climb to 6, 7 or even 8 kilometers of altitude en route to the target, completely free from interference by enemy fighters, even if nobody on their team escorts them. On a smaller ground strike map, like Rice Terraces for example, if an enemy fighter manages to successfully establish themselves in a holding pattern above their airbase at a good altitude, around 5 kilometers, they are screwed. The only thing they can do to get away is to put themselves into a dive, and all that does is put them straight into the dogfight, exactly where they don't want to be. So it's almost completely the other way around. And I covered this in an earlier video. The difficulty that a game developer has in making people play the game the way they want the game to be played is completely proportional to how easy or rewarding it is for a player to do what the game developers want that player to do in any given class of aircraft. If you want people in Interceptors to go after bombers, then you have to make it relatively easy and rewarding for them to do so. And it wasn't until I played this game that the idea occurred to me that perhaps the one feature that defines how easy and rewarding it is for an Interceptor to go after a bomber on a ground strike map is how big the map is. On a small map like Rice Terraces, you know, as hopefully this video amply demonstrates, on a small map like Rice Terraces where there's only one direct route from the bomber spawn point to the bomber targets, it's far too easy for the Interceptors to deal with them. Rice Terraces is so small that even under ideal circumstances a bomber is being shot at within 30 seconds to a minute of spawning on the map. There just isn't time for them to gain any meaningful kind of altitude or divert. There's nowhere for them to go around. The map is just too small. And as you've seen here, on a map of this size, it is ridiculously easy for an Interceptor to get himself into a position where he's effectively spawn camping the bombers, and if nobody comes up to deal with him, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. If you make your ground strike maps so big that it becomes a huge pain in the arse to go after the bombers, then the bombers dominate, because if it's hard to do, people aren't going to bother doing it. And it strikes me that the one thing that defines how difficult or easy it is to go after bombers in a ground strike map is quite simply how big the map is. You know, you can argue about, oh well, this aircraft's better for going after bombers because it has this kind of climb rate and this performance at altitude, and no, how big's the map? It's as simple as that. Small maps, it's very easy to go after the bombers. Big maps, it's so difficult to go after the bombers that most people don't bother trying to do it. Maybe there's a size of map that's halfway between the two, where we could strike a nice little balance. And Wehrmacht Wolf, if you're watching this video, I do apologise, I was not trying to pick on you. Unfortunately for you, you just had the severe misfortune of trying to play bombers on a ground strike map that was so small, it made it very, very difficult for you to do your job, and very, very easy for me to do mine. Better luck next time, and well done for trying. As always folks, watch your six, and I'll catch you next time.